ask you, there is one set, they react so differently. And that's what I want to get at, the hypocrisy of it all. When Mr. Anupam Kher and Mr. Agnihotri made the movie Kashmir Files, there were many people associated with that movie also, many livelihoods that were attached to that movie also. But there was this whole group of, I don't know what to call them, let's call them the ecosystem. Liberals is perhaps not the right word. They chafe at Lutyens. So I don't know what to say. Let's call it the ecosystem of the new wokery. When the new wokery got so upset at the Kashmir Files, there was no talk about freedom of expression, for example. Here, when Mr. Amir Khan's film is not doing well, people are reading motives. Oh, these Hindus, parochial Hindus, have decided that they're going to boycott Amir Khan, teach him a lesson. How do you react to all of this?
Good evening, Rahul. You've really summed it up perfectly. I think there are three important issues here. Let me delve into them one by one. First, you're absolutely right. Look, intelligence and rationale and logic has never been the strong point of these leftists. So, it is amusing to note the hypocrisy of those who called for the boycott of Kashmir Files and Vivek Agnihotri, as you rightly put it, now lamenting the boycott of Lal Singh Chaddha. These crybabies, mostly, as I said, mediocre leftists and darbaris, failures in life, as I call them, wail the moment the shoe is on the other foot. In the last 75 years, they have reveled in boycotting, cancelling, censoring hundreds of films, actors, directors, producers, singers, anchors, who they felt professed an ideology opposite to theirs. Heck, they even charged Utpal Dutt with sedition for Duswapner Nagari. They jailed him for 7 months for Kalol. They banned Balraj Sahni, who was a communist, for Jadoo Ki Kursi. They banned the film Andhi, banned film Kissa Kursi Ka. There are hundreds of examples. But now they are running scared because the non-left or right is doing the same to them and their ideology. Coupled with this, Rahul, is also a truth that Bollywood has a clique that pushes Hindu phobia and then expects the viewer to accept it, knowingly or subconsciously. There is a refreshing Twitter handle by the name of Gems of Bollywood, started by journalist Swati Goyal Sharma and an ITN Sanjeev, that has ruthlessly exposed what has been a Hindu-phobic and Hindu-mistic bent of Bollywood since decades. हमें पता भी नहीं चलता था, हमें पिलाई जाती थी चीजें. Layered on top is the rampant selectivity. Leave alone critiquing Islam, वो तो बहुत दूर की बात है. Bollywood has hailed and revered it. Look, Hindus are tolerant and accepting of mocking. That's how great reforms have happened in this great religion. Samskara, whether you can today that you call it an anti-Hindu film, was a well-accepted film, although it was banned by the Congress. But to always selectively highlight Hinduism's ills, to always mock only Hinduism, displays a mindset of fear and awe of the other religion. Number two, it is also worth pondering, Rahul, that while boycott, as you said, is a legitimate right of an individual, absolutely true, as a society, we will become monochromatic and cleansed of all diverse views if we stretch boycotting to its limits that the left does and wants. For example, I disagree with the views of the actor Swara Bhaskar, but should I stop buying Harpic, for which she is the ambassador for? What is Harpic's fault if Swara's views are irrational and laughable? And what is my toilet's fault? Tomorrow, if we don't like the views of Amitabh Bachchan, should we boycott administration of polio drops to our kids for which he is the ambassador? Finally, very briefly, on the issue of Lal Singh Chaddha itself, Rahul, as a scientist, I look at evidence and past precedents. And on both counts, it is difficult for me right now to say that Lal Singh Chaddha has bombed at the box office because of Amir Khan's anti-Modi, anti-current atmosphere or anti-Hindu propaganda. If this was the case, then three idiots that came after Amir Khan called Modi a murderer and wanted him jailed and hated BJP and its policies openly wouldn't have become a big hit. Also, Dangal, Amir's biggest hit, came 2 years after the Hindu-phobic film PK and a year after his infamous comment on India being unsafe. So Dangal should have tanked as well. So I think the tanking of this film might just be due to it simply not resonating with the audience.
I have a feeling too, and I'm going to ask this. Why did Amir Khan express regret? If he spoke from conviction in 2015, then why express regret?